Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and to our coffee times together. Today I'm here to bring you some opinions on books that should be adapted into movies or TV series.
It's coffee time!
So I've been meaning to make more videos that kind of combine two of my biggest passions, which are movies and books. And I decided to start with this one because I was creating this list of books that I have read, most of them recently, that I thought would make a really cool TV show or movie. And actually, while I was doing my research, I discovered that some of these things actually are kind of in development, so I am super excited. So let's check those out. So I thought I would start with just 6 books, and if you guys like this type of videos, I thought I could make another one, a part 2, because there is obviously always books that we read that we think would make a great show or a great movie. So this is more based on books that I have read recently, like this year or last year, and that I really enjoyed and I thought were a little bit special and would deserve to have a show or a movie. The first one is The Wayward Children series by Shannon McGuire. I have 4 of the books, but there are 5 already out there, and I have seen that Sci-Fi has actually bought the rights to do this, and I think they're gonna do a TV series. My idea when I thought about this series is something similar that what it has been done with American Horror Story, in which each season is a different story. Because if you are familiar with the series, you would know that each book follows different characters and different stories, even though they all kind of intertwine because they're all wayward children. So I thought it would be great to have, you know, 1 book per season, and because these books are fairly short, there is a lot more that could be explored about the characters and, you know, develop even more the character arc. So I thought this would be a great one to do a TV show. If you're unfamiliar with these books, the first one is this one, Every Heart a Doorway, and this is kind of setting up the story for the other books. We discovered that we live in a world where children have had access to these doors to other worlds, and they cross these doors and they spend some time in those worlds, and sometimes they find their way back to reality, and when they do, they have trouble adapting, and all they want to do is go back to their fantasy. Like, who could blame them? And because they're having trouble to adapt to real life again, they're being sent to Eleanor's house for wayward children, and there you get to meet a lot of different kids that are in this institution. And, you know, after this book, which is kind of setting up the whole thing, you get to follow the kids and their own stories when they were finding these doors, and it's absolutely magical and stunning, and I really love it. So I would definitely love to see this adapted. Next, I have a duology by Victoria Schwab, and that is The Archived and The Unbound. So I just read The Archived finally in the month of January and absolutely loved it, and I thought this story would be an amazing, like, limited series with 2 seasons, maybe 1 season per book. And I have seen that it has been sold to CV to do a TV series, so I'm not sure how they're gonna go about it, if they're gonna make only 2 seasons or if they're planning to stretch the story. So the story is fascinating to me. So we're living in a world in which there is this other kind of reality, passing the veil between the living and the dead. And the dead is not like they are just like walking freely in this other world. They are being stored in a library, and the people that work in the library, if need be, they can, you know, pull one of the drawers, and reading the body, basically you can figure out what happened to them, see their experiences and everything. And this is just such a great concept that I thought it would look amazing as a TV show. Next, we have The Institute by Stephen King. I really enjoyed this book. I know not everybody did, because it's not your typical King, but I thought this would make an amazing movie. However, I have read that the talking is that they're going to turn this into a TV series, which worries me a little bit, because I'm thinking they're going to try to stretch the story and everything, but we will see. It might work, who knows. But I would have liked to see this one as a movie. I think it would have worked pretty well as a kind of lengthy movie. And it's the story of this kid that he is super intelligent, super smart, but not only that, he realizes one day that he can actually like move things with his mind and stuff like that. And one night he is kidnapped and is being taken to this facility called the Institute, where he meets all the children that also have special powers. And this institute is basically experimenting on the kids. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it had the right amount of, you know, like suspense, and it was a great thriller. I do not consider this really horror, but I would like to see a movie. If they're turning it into a TV series, we shall see. Moving on with horror, and we have The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. And Film Nation bought the rights to the story, I think even before the book was published, so they do have the rights to make a movie, and I will be so happy if they decide to do it, because I love this book. And it is a book that it leaves you kind of wanting more, because it does kind of end with an open ending. And I would just love to see a movie, and maybe they could think of a alternate ending or something like that. I don't know, something cool that maybe Paul can help them develop or something. But I would really love to see this story being adapted, because it was really creepy. It was really like uncomfortable. It is about this gay couple that lives with their daughter, and they go to spend some time in this cabin in the woods, you know, to just spend some time together. And there is the strangers that knock on their door one day, and it kind of turns into some sort of like, you know, strangers want to come in, so kind of like a home invasion story. But it is just so mind-blowing, and it is violent. I really loved it, so I would really like to see this adapted into a movie. Now let's go to some kind of Western superpower kids, and we have Berserker by Amy Laybourne. I'm not gonna stop recommending this book, because I think there are so many books out there that are about kids or families of kids that have superpowers, and the story, I know it's a little bit overdone, but this is played as a Western, and it is just, it makes it just so original, and you're so invested in the story, and it was such a great adventure, and it read for me like so adult in a way, and the kids are so different that your typical, you know, kind of teenage angst kids or anything like that. It was just amazing, and the second book I own and I would like to read, but because I love the first one so much, I would love them to turn this into a TV show. I think it would be great to follow these kids in Western stories. I don't know, I think it would be really great in bringing something a little bit fresh into the picture, because we've seen, you know, modern stories about kids with superpowers, but one in like a Western, that sounds like gold to me. The last one is one that's actually a big series of books, because they're chunky books, and that is The Diviners by Liva Bray. Now, I have only read the first book, but this is such a cool, amazing story that I think it would be a perfect, like, either a series of movies or just a TV show. There is so much to tell about these characters. We're in the 1920s, and we are following Evie, and she has this power that when she touches an object, she can see memories and things related to this object and the person that owns it. And because of these, you know, and because the parents don't want anybody to know that she's different, she's being sent to her uncle in New York, and she starts, without, you know, really noticing, she gets kind of involved in a murder investigation, and it's helping her uncle to figure out who is this killer. And it's just, it's such a great mix of different things that it just works so organically. Like, it's just so easy to read, even though it's kind of like a chunky book, but you just want to keep reading. And I think this would be a great TV show. And these were my propositions of books that I would love to see adapted. As you can see, some of them are kind of in the works, or some companies already own the rights, so I hope that someday they will see the light. If you like this video, let me know down below. Let me know if you want to see more of these videos in which I talk to you about some books that I think would be great TV shows or movies. If there's any that you know that you would really like to see adapted, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up for support, subscribe to the channel, and remember before you leave to hit the notification bell. If you want to follow me on the social media, all the links as always in the description box down below. And I'll see you all in the next coffee time. Bye.